Just introduce yourself. Let me know how you'd like me to refer to you, and then I will give you 5 minutes for speaking and 5 minutes for questions.
Luigi Corto, Wiki Wiggleback, and I'm here representing myself, speaking on both myself, my ancestors, Wiki forming those working.
All right.
And you can refer to me as Gordon.
As Gordon. All right. Thank you very much. I'm going to start your time, and please begin.
So I just want to preface by saying those that just spoke before me spoke very eloquently and very well, representing a lot of what's going on with this government and with this bill. I'm an educator. Have been working in our schools, trying to make schools a safer place for Indigenous children. And just in the last 2 weeks, this government has made that very difficult to continue to do that work in a good way, in a positive way, because we just had the banning of the honor song from being played as an equal partner to O Canada, and replaced by the colonial presence of indoctrination of making every child stand and appreciate national anthem without being able to hear about the honor song or the Black Nova Scotian anthem. So that started last week, and then immediately we found out that this bill was being created and rushed through without time for debate, without time for people to organize, without, obviously, for any government people to actually review any of the documents that would be submitted. As we saw from Michelle, no one was ready. Most people probably haven't read most of those packages. They probably won't before this bill is passed. And that is undemocratic and part of a pattern that this current government has been doing. And to give, I have 5 minutes. If I want to talk about this bill and every part in it, that would, I don't know, that's like 10 seconds per aspect of this bill. So it's lumped together with a whole bunch of other unsavory things that they want to just rush through. And that's very unsettling and very undemocratic. And I'm very upset by that. So I came here in part to talk about those things, but also that this creates more violence against Indigenous people. It undoes so much of the work that we've been trying to do in this country towards reconciliation. And you can't legislate away our responsibility to truth and reconciliation. You can't legislate away our treaty rights and our inherent rights as Aboriginal people and the Aboriginal title to this land. It's unceded, as Duma clearly showed in his previous talk. And so, if we just go back a little bit and just see the path that we were on prior to this government, we can really see how this has really turned around. And, this bill protecting Nova Scotians really is protecting industry from Nova Scotians. We forgot to leave that. We left that word out on purpose, I think, because this bill is really about how can we support industry at the expense of Nova Scotians and Nova Scotians' rights, and especially against Indigenous people. There's with the UNDRIP requirement of free and prior consent, there wasn't any consent given. There wasn't any attempts to organize or even to distribute information about the stuff in this bill. So that's all very unsettling. It's very hard, difficult to work in government, difficult to receive a paycheck from this government to do work that's supposed to be aligned with truth and reconciliation, to honoring a path forward together where no one's in front, no one's behind. And we actually work to solve the problems that all of us face. And our land protectors, they're doing a really amazing thing. They're standing up for all of creation. We're not just humans, but for all of us. And for us to be successful, for our future generations to be successful in this province and to have a good life, to have as much as we have, and to have, all the things that we need all of it. And Hunter's Mountain is just one place in Nova Scotia. It's a very important place, but there's a lot of other places under threat right now. And if this is the way that this government is going to continue to work undemocratically and, with no room for debate, no room for other people's opinions, and not listening to to everyday Nova Scotians, you may get some things done over the next couple of years, but election time, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose by not listening to us and by continuing to be undemocratic. So it's a short-term thing. And if you criminalize us and you jail us for protecting the land, well, that hasn't been deterrent to most Native people in the past. We answer to a higher calling a lot of the time, and to speak truth and to act in truth, to live in truth, and to uphold our responsibilities to each other and to the land and to everyone that we share this land with, including all animals, is really important. And
your time is up, Gordon. Thank you for your comments, your presentation. But we do have up to 5 minutes now for questions. And I'm going to see if there are MLAs have any questions. Beginning with MLA Wozni.
Thank you, Gordon, for taking the time to come and speak to us at Public Bills. As you've indicated, Bill 127 is an omnibus bill. The relationship of its component pieces to one another under the auspices of protecting Nova Scotians appears dubious to many, including many on the opposition side of the House. If you were going to highlight one part of this bill that you believe should be severed and considered independent of the rest of the bill, which piece of this bill would you recommend the House deal with independent of the omnibus approach? And talk a little bit about why it deserves that focus on its own.
Recognize Gordon.
Okay, well, I think every aspect of this bill deserves its own debate and its own time. And to have more than 3 days in between reading the first reading and then having public consultation doesn't give anyone represented in this bill any time at all to organize, to understand, and to create, any meaningful conversation before it's passed. And if it's going to be rushed through this fast, if we just look at other bills, this is not a normal way of doing things. And I would take them all separate. I think every single part of this bill is really important and needs time for adequate discussion, debate, and to consult with Nova Scotians about whether or not they support any of this going forward and in what way. Putting it all together is undemocratic. It's unfortunate. And it's a pattern that this government seems to have.
Any other questions before I allow MLA Wozni to speak second time? Nobody else has questions? All right. MLA Wozni.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Gordon. You've offered some strong perspective about the impact of this act could be further criminalization of Indigenous, I don't even want to call them activists, Indigenous persons acting to protect the land in a way that's consistent with Mi'kmaq values and spirituality. Part 2, the Crown Lands Act, to your knowledge, are you aware of any attempt of the government of Nova Scotia to liaise with leadership that represents your sort of your corner of Mi'kmaq and your band council, so to speak, on whether or not the language in Part 2, the Crown Lands Act, that seemed most directly related to your concerns about protesting to protect the land. Are you aware of any efforts on the part of anybody in government to consult with community on taking some of the hard edges off or creating language that satisfies your concerns about your freedoms to protest and act to protect the land?
Recognize Gordon.
I have zero awareness of any attempts. If there have been attempts, none of our membership has shared it with us. And our leadership is normally very good at sharing information with us around those things. So I'm going to say no, I'm not aware of any. I don't know anyone else who is aware of any. And if a real attempt was made, I'm sure many of us would have been part of that process and offered a lot of important information going forward.
Thank you. Any further questions? We have a little over a minute left. All right. MLA Wozni.
Under Part 2, Article 15, there are a number of things that really speak to some of the concerns that you're